What up, YouTube? Dolly back in the house. Tonight, we're going to be discussing the latest rumors in the Jack and Lilly case. It's getting kind of crazy. The fighting between people is heating up, and we're going to talk about that right here tonight. So, if you're one of my true crime junkies, I need you guys to do me a favor. I need you to leave your DNA and your fingerprints all over that like button, okay? Just in case you go missing, you're going to need somebody to track you down, all right? We know Dog the Bounty Hunter ain't been too good at it lately, so you're going to need Dolly. So definitely like the video. And if you're brand new here, help us hit that 100,000. We're getting close. We're at like almost 82,000, and I can't do it without the help of each and every one of you guys watching out there. Okay, since we're talking about people that are not in jail, and there may be some rumors and speculation, I want to give my warnings. Dolly Vision is for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact, people. It's just my opinion, completely satire. Also, we can't take calls, but we will be back in the studio tomorrow. All our sound problems will be fixed. We got our new mixers, new mics, everything. We got a lot of new stuff coming for you guys, and it all starts taking place tomorrow. That stage one of the new setup will be tomorrow, which is good news because, you know, sound and quality has been a little down for the last week, but hey, we're back on our feet. So we'll be able to take calls tomorrow. And of course, everybody that we're talking about here tonight is innocent to proven guilty in a court of law. Even you guys, all right? And the biggest one of them all, and everybody on YouTube and the true crime sector should know this by now, but we're going to repeat it just in case you're brand new. Do not, and I repeat, do not try to be Dolly at home. It is dangerous. You can end up with man tits and driving for DoorDash. You don't want to do it. You do not want to do it, okay? You've been warned. Don't try to sue me, all right? Do not try to sue me. So it's been a little while since we talked about Jack and Lilly, and I basically want to go over the timeline of everything for you guys, you know, just to refresh in your memory, because it has been a minute, okay? Jack, age 4, and Lilly, age 6, were last seen alive by family on the afternoon of May 1st, 2025. RCMP confirms they were together. The whole family was together that day. They were caught on a video at a local store. May 2nd, 2025, 10 a.m., the children were reported missing from their rural home on Gearlock Road in Lansdowne Station, Pictou County, Nova Scotia. Earlier that morning, parents reported children were at home. The stepfather, Daniel Martell, the mother, Malaya Brooks Murphy, said they noticed the kids gone and began searching. 10:01 a.m., RCMP issued a vulnerable missing persons advisory. Not an Amber Alert, since no abduction, there was no proof of any type of abduction. Okay? May 3rd through 7th, RCMP scaled up the investigation, interviews, searches, and volunteer helicopters, drones, support underwater teams, check, and cadaver dogs. It's what's been reported. But later we heard that there was no cadaver dogs, and the cadaver dogs didn't come in till way later. On May 7th, police scaled back broad search efforts due to lack of evidence. Late May through June 2025, RCMP conducted polygraph interviews of dozens of people linked to the case. Now, we heard that Daniel Martell was one of these people that took this polygraph test and actually passed, according to him. Now, we didn't hear that from the RCMP, but Daniel came out in media and said that he had passed this test. Now, Daniel, out of all the people, seemed to be the most suspicious because he was like overdoing it. And you got to remember, Jack and Lilly wasn't even his kids. They were his girlfriend's kids. Now, a lot of people call this man the stepdad. Even this report that I'm reading from refers to him as the stepfather. But Malaya and Daniel were never married. So they did have a child together, Meadow, but they're not married. So basically, that's his girlfriend. Okay. Oh, you could say common law wife. Search efforts shifted to focus on tips, video footage, phone device analysts, and reviewing hundreds of cameras in the area. Now, we heard that the neighbor, it took them weeks before they even got her footage from the trail cams from anybody that's been following this story from the very beginning. A reward up to 150,000 Canadian dollars were offered for useful information. August 25th, redacted court documents revealed that the RCMP no longer considered the case criminal in nature by mid July, but the disappearance remains unsolved. Okay, so basically, the RCMP have no clue to what has happened. Now, we heard, in the very beginning that Daniel was asleep, and Daniel has said mixed things in all of this, right? And then there was a man that went by the name of Durwood. Now, Durwood from this channel. Durwood came up here and gave a few different interviews here on Dolly Vision where he claimed that Daniel Martell, Malaya Brooks, everybody has it wrong, that these are good people. They wouldn't do anything. That, Daniel said that Malaya had gave the baby to somebody, the kids to somebody, and they were hid on this Indian reservation, and Durwood was swearing he was going to get to the bottom of the situation. After a while, here on Dolly, we call basic bullshit on that. Okay, we were like, I don't know if this dude Durwood is, just one of the locals and he's trying to get some attention. A lot of people believe that Durwood was just trying to get attention and he was sticking up for his friends. And basically that's what it was. Even Durwood's son came up onto the channel defending Daniel. Now, like I said, Daniel, I believe, is given really mixed signals. And from the very start of this, red flags immediately went off. And for everybody that tuned in last night, we went over, these red flags that parents give, because this case is a lot like the Sebastian Rogers case in Hendersonville, Tennessee, here in the States, right? For all my Canadian viewers out there, the case is real similar to that case where a mother basically Joe dirted her kids. Now, here in the States, in the United States, that's a huge red flag. Most parents would not pack up and leave their kids. So there was mixed statements about who was awake, who wasn't awake. Everybody sleeping in. They were up late, and the story changed from we woke up and the kids were gone to, Lily had came in the room multiple times that night and possibly have woke up Meadow, the youngest, right, which is Daniel's child, with Malaya. So the story was kind of all over the place. And of course, the grandmother, Janie, that was in the RV story was kind of like, oh, I heard the kids outside, but I didn't check on them because I thought Daniel was with them. And one thing we know is kids just don't vanish. They just don't disappear. Now, I believe myself that the RCMP, the Canadian Mounted Police, and now some of my Canadian viewers may get mad at me out here, but I don't believe they're worth a shit, okay? Just my opinion. I think they have failed these children all the way around, and this is just terrible, all right? So, very little clues of what happened to these kids, and definitely people out there saying the parents ain't got nothing to do with it and coming up on internet channels and basically white knighting for what I believe are the prime suspects. And I believe there's 4 suspects in the disappearance of Jack and Lilly. And that would be Daniel Martell, Malaya Brooks, Janie, Daniel's mother, and his brother. Between these 4 people, in my mind, I believe they know where these children are at. They know what transpired for these kids to be missing. And did them kids go missing that morning, or did they go missing that night? Okay, because there's nothing that verifies that these children were there that morning. Now, there is proof that these kids were at a department store, like a Dollar General here in the United States, but just like a discount store there in Canada. Facts. There's proof of life for that. But after that, there is zero. Only the word of what I believe are our four suspects. And can you believe these people? Now, I haven't believed anything Daniel Martell was saying from the very beginning. Okay. Remember, this is the same guy that said he was running through water up to his neck, but was clean. He wasn't wet, no dirt, no nothing on him. I mean, he didn't look like a clean guy, right? He didn't look like he had showered, but he looked like his clothes were not the cleanest, but not like he'd been running through water or outrunning helicopters. And he kept inserting himself into the search efforts, and which I believe is for him to stay ahead of things and for him to know what the police have. Now, there's some really crazy rumors coming out, okay? And we're going to discuss those rumors here in just a minute. But we know Durwood O'Grady, right, has flipped on Daniel and Malaya Brooks. Well, he was never a big fan of Malaya Brooks, but even though he's allegedly kin to them through family members and so on, that part of Canada that they're missing from is really a small area where a lot of people know each other. Or if they don't technically know each other, they know of each other. Peace, Love, and Pugs just gifted $1 membership. Thank you, Peace, Love, and Pugs. You the first one on the Dolly train tonight. And we do have a goal set up. If we hit our super chat goal, I am going to sign this Justice for Jack and Lilly hat. Tell me that ain't pretty. I'm going to sign it inside of it, and I'm going to ship it out to one of you guys if we hit our goal tonight. But he has flipped the script, and he's saying that Daniel, which he was siding for, okay, which was weird because he wasn't siding for his family, but he was siding for Daniel, which is a little wild because I believe that both of these people know exactly what happened. But if one of them tell, then both of them go down for the disappearance of Jack and Lilly. Now, I truly don't believe that these kids are alive. Trigger warning, people. I don't. I think something transpired in that house where these kids, and Doug from Tennessee always calls in. So Doug, when you watch this video, you're gonna be like, I told you, Dolly, right? There's rumors that, some people believe that these, not only Doug from Tennessee, but other people, that these kids may have got into some bad substances that night, and that these people disposed of these children that night. Okay, not the next morning. They were gone that night. Apparently, there's a dude named, is Brad Wong, right?
Yeah.
Brad Wong and another guy named Justin. They're swearing that Daniel, that night around 1 o'clock, because they were up late on the internet, drove by their house 5 times. Okay. Now, what would he have been out so late at night for when he alleges that he was home in bed with Malaya? So who is telling the truth? Now, Durwood is coming out saying he believes the Brad guy, okay? And the Justin guy, that they're telling the truth, that this person had been in his vehicle and he had been driving around. So you could tell by his story, he so many inconsistencies. And not only that, what mother have you ever seen give an interview about their child, Malaya, the one interview that she did do, and no tears? No tears. You're missing not just one of your kids, but you're missing two of your children, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. Did you want to go over that information now?
I was reading all this stuff, and it's like, there's rumors that Malaya's under mental health care, and then somebody's asking if she's still in the hospital. So I don't know if
Now,
they're just being.
I don't know for sure if Malaya is under mental health care, but here's the thing. No mother is emotionless when they lose two of their precious children. We're not talking about one of your kids are gone, which would be horrible. And, me as a father, I'd be bawling, crying, just doing everything I could to find my kid, giving interviews, coming up on the internet, trying to get people to search, putting search parties together. But we don't see Malaya Brooks doing any of this. She immediately contacted a lawyer from the reservation, lawyered up, packed up, and left the house. Right? We had a family. Usually, when tragedy strikes a family, even if they're not the greatest family, they they usually bond together to try to solve the problem. Right? And in this case, it was the opposite of that. This family fell apart. Okay, they started fighting with each other, and of course, the mother packs her stuff up and leaves. In the States, for my Canadian viewers out there, everybody in the chat room knows what we call this when you leave your kid, right? Joe Dirt it, your child. You basically left them, said, boom, I'm out, not caring about the child. No normal parent would pack up and leave the children. Do you want to go over this Brad Wong stuff real quick?
Yeah, this was in a court document that was released probably about a month ago.
Okay, from a court document.
And it says on May 17th, 2025, CST, I think it's Captain Corporal, I don't know, Donaldson took a statement from Justin Smith, who lives in the area where Jack and Lilly went missing. The following is a summary. Justin Smith said he was on good terms with the Mackenzie family and helped Janie out in the past. He did not know Malaya, Daniel, Jack, or Lily specifically. On Thursday night into Friday morning, he was up until around 1 a.m. on Facebook. Around 1:30 a.m., he heard a car on Highway 289 turn around by the railroad tracks near the area of Gerlach Road and Lansdowne Station Road. It made noise, then went quiet. The vehicle was quiet for about 2 minutes, then drove towards Laird Road. He later spoke with Brad Wong, who informed him Daniel's vehicle came and went 5 or 6 times that night. Wong said the car Smith heard was Daniel. Smith helped with the search on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but did not find anything.
Okay. That everything?
Yes.
Okay. So was it Daniel's car that was out? Now you got to remember, when you live in a little area like this, people know who you are, and they know what you drive. And is it possible he mistaken the car, or was it Daniel's car and there was a reason that Daniel had to pack up and go, right? And did Janie, the grandmother, really hear those kids out there that day? And if your kid was missing, why is Malaya Brooks' behavior so odd? She even came out recently on a channel, and she gave a statement, and she wanted to thank the police and all the people for searching. Well, the police haven't found your child, right? I would be upset with the police if my child hadn't been found.
That's actually a normal reaction for parents, is to be upset and angry and nasty.
That's what I'm saying. Normal behavior, she does not show. She don't show normal behavior, because I would be upset. I'd be thinking, these police ain't found my child. It's been months and there's no answers. They need to do their job. They need to get out there and find out where my child is. I wear my Dolly hat everywhere. Well, thank you. I love Dan forever. That's awesome. But she don't do these things. And behavior is not proof, but I believe actions speak louder than words. And this lady has the most guilty actions of somebody I know. Now, what happened to Jack and Lilly, it's unsure, but we do know, according to Malaya Brooks, that Daniel had been on a heavy narcotic since Meadow had been born. And even that day, the family was fighting because they allegedly caught him in the bathroom doing a certain substance that boosts your energy levels, and maybe that's why he was out running the helicopter. Maybe that's why he was running through lakes. He was doing what we call in the States that Breaking Bad. Okay, he was doing some Breaking Bad, and not a good sign to have those types of substances in the house with small children.
No.
Because small children, they don't know what that is. They don't know that it can hurt them. And is this something that the kids got into and shared with each other? And now they're panicked. Something happens to them in the middle of the night, and Daniel Martell jumps in the car and does something, right? It's just one of those questions. And what is going on with Durwood and Janie now fighting, where Durwood is saying that these people are absolutely lying. Okay, all aboard the Dolly train. Dolly gotta eat. Board the Dolly train. So much love for you and PJ and everything you do. Well, thank you guys for being here, because we couldn't do it without you. It's
Thank
all
you.
about spreading awareness, and we need you beautiful people here to spread that awareness too. Now it's your job to repost these videos and also spread awareness. That's what we can do on the internet to help these kids, because we're not physically in Canada, so there's not much we can do on the ground. But on the internet, we are powerful when we stick together. Okay.
And this thread from 4 days ago, these people are talking about how many accidents Daniel's been in, and someone said, I live down the road and personally have driven past Daniel twice in the ditch closest to Eastville.
Yeah, yeah. I believe he does a little sipping and tipping, and I think he may be under the influence.
He's a fan of algebra.
He's a fan of. He's a member of the math club. Okay.
He's got a pocket calculator.
He has a pocket calculator
Wow.
shaped like a pipe. Okay. Allegedly. Now we don't know this for 100% sure, but these are the allegations that people are making against Daniel, right? So, and from the beginning, like I said, so many red flags. They're pretty much emotionless, fake tears, no tears in the Daniel was rubbing his eyes so his pupils about dried up and fell out, right? But not one tear came down his face. Crocodile tears, not even. And then, of course, Malaya, she basically gave a Chris Watts statement, right? Oh, I miss him at night. And that's basically what Chris Watts said, almost verbatim, right? So she was like a female Chris Watts. And Daniel, believe it or not, from the very beginning, if you go back and watch my videos, I was like, this dude reminds me of Chris Watts. Like, he's just overdoing it, and like it's just, I don't know, it was something about him. But Malaya actually sounded like Chris Watts. And I was just thinking, why do these people give me the Chris Watts vibes, right? And let's see what this says. Peace, Love, and Pug said, I really want a window seat on the Blessed Express. Well, you definitely Peace, Love, and Pugs. You're like, you ain't many people on the train tonight, so you got plenty of room for a window seat. You know what they say? You ain't blessed unless you on the express, right? So you definitely get a window seat, and I hope you had a great holiday, right? But even though it's the holidays, we still got to spread awareness for these missing kids. And with the studio being down, I think, we've done the best we can with what we have from the living room. Because true crime is pretty much me and PJ's life. Like, even on the holidays, we sit around, even when we're not live, and we discuss these cases. We kick things back and forth off each other, and we don't always agree on things, but we agree that there needs to be justice for these children, right? And that's the most important thing of it all. and I don't want to be like one of these people that only blame the parents, but I usually cover cases that I see big red flags in, and this is one of these cases. And the people that are putting out the red flags are the parents, okay? Nobody else. I mean, Durwood is strange because, you have missing kids, and then you got a man who inserts himself into the case. Sometimes you gotta be suspicious of people that just come out of nowhere and all of a sudden they want to be a part of something, right? Because that's suspicious in itself, right? But let's just say that Durwood hypothetically was a kidnapper, right? it still don't explain the behavior of Daniel Martell and Malaya Brooks. So I believe if they took the 4 of these people, or 5, if you even added Durwood into the equation, and you locked all 5 of these people up, the brother, Daniel, Malaya, Janie, you would have the answers for these children of where Jack and Lily are. Because you think about this, apparently they woke up, they had heard the kids 30 minutes to an hour prior. Within that time, the police had moved in on that area. They were searching with helicopters, drones, police, everything, all kinds of people, and nothing was found. Nothing undisturbed. All right, kids just don't vanish. We've talked about this so many times. Aliens just don't abduct kids. And they didn't have enough time to get but so far, and there was nothing. There was just nothing. Now, the RCMP, they have no evidence, right? Because I believe that everything they know is coming from Janie, Malaya, because they live in a rural area. So there's really no eyewitnesses. So you got to kind of go, as the police, you got to kind of go with what people are saying, because that's really all the police know is the lies that they have been told. Now, at the same time, we've seen Daniel Martell out here acting like he's sad about Malaya. Leave Malaya alone. But secretly, he was in the DMs of females on the internet. Okay? And Dolly knows some of them females that he was corresponding with. And he was also saying he was making these little private groups and speaking in private groups. And then when people would leak that information, he would get upset. Now, here's the thing about a missing child. When kids are missing, there should be complete transparency. There should be no private groups. There shouldn't be no hidden messages. There shouldn't be, hold on. Helena says, hi, Dolly, PJ mods and chatters. I like a seat on the Blessed Express. Thank you for the updates. You're absolutely welcome, Helena, and thank you for being here, and thank you for your donation. Grab you a nice comfy seat on the Blessed Express. Buckle up. It could get a little bumpy. It could get a little bumpy. But I don't believe that these kids were kidnapped. There's no signs of abduction. There was never no ransom notes. You know, there haven't been no sightings of the kids. Nothing with any substance, right? And she called the school to report absent 4 hours before calling 911 at 6:30 a.m. That's because if Justin Smith, right?
Yeah, and I found the information on the room.
Brad Wong or Wright, then they were out driving around that night there in Nova Scotia. And that means their story and their timeline is wrong. So everything I read you at the beginning of this is a lie, is what I'm thinking.
Okay, this is a text message from Dearwood to God knows who.
Okay,
read the text
was shared
message. In all the groups and on all the channels, and it's from 5 days ago. I'm thinking it says Janie, but it doesn't say. It cuts it off. Is lying now. I know a lot more now than I did last week. I confronted Janie today, and Daniel wouldn't even come out of the trailer. I believe most of Daniel's family knows what happened. Malaya knows exactly where the kids are, and as of now, I'm done with all of them. Too many liars, including Daniel.
Well, we knew Daniel was lying. I did, right? And that I just know. I've been in true crime long enough to know that when somebody's just absolutely lying and their behavior is off. At this point, I could almost be I could be on the behavior panel. I'm so good with people's behavior, right? And matter of fact, I think I'm better than the people on the behavior panel. I see these little inconsistencies, and like I said, it may not put up a huge red flag, but I notice them. And then once I see a red flag, there should never, ever in a missing kid case be any red flags. None. Not little flags, not big flags, not medium flags, no red flags, right? Everybody's story should be consistent. It should always be the same, because the truth never changes. Okay, the truth never changes. And when we start seeing people add to the story, take away from the story, or overexert themselves, you know, it reminds me of the Cow City Boys. Remember the adopted parents? They jumped in the van, they start driving around in the neighborhood, acting all frantic, but really, they were the murder of Owen and Orson. That's their names, right? Owen and Orson.
Owen and Orson.
Yeah. So basically, they had to put up a front to make it look like they were searching for the kids, right? And really, they unalived those babies, and of course, are sitting in jail right now for that. Now, Canada, like I said, RCMP. You know, I hate these lie detector tests. I hate them. I hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them, because I believe they're not accurate and they can't be used in court. And then when people pass them or allegedly pass them, then they they start looking other places when really they have the perpetrator right there. There's been criminals that have aced these tests, right, and then later be charged with murder. Matter of fact, there's one right now, Stacy Wander in the Michael Monkey Vaughn situation. He took a lot of technical tests, and according to him, he passed it. Now that ain't according to Fruitland, the police. That's according to him that he passed it. Same thing with Daniel, right? That he passed it. But now Stacy Wander has been charged with the murder of Michael Monkey Vaughn. So when these lie detector tests come into play, I can't stand it. And after Daniel Martell took that lie detector test, he got all cocky, and you see his whole attitude change. When they brought in the cadaver dogs and they brought in the searchers, he was confident they wasn't going to find nothing. Now, why would you be cocky? Why would you be confident? Why wouldn't you be hopeful? Man, they're here, they're searching. Hopefully something will break and something will come out of this. You would think parents would be hopeful. We look at even now, I don't agree with everything of Seth Rogers, right? I don't. But he's hopeful that his child is alive. Even though I think he knows deep down inside that.
What about when he was looking for a body in the river?
Yeah, he was looking for a body in the river. I think deep down inside he knows that Sebastian Rogers ain't with us anymore. But as a parent, he's hopeful. Like he don't want to believe that, even though he knows it, right? He knows it probably to be true, but he don't want it. That would be your normal reaction. Like, you're going to have to prove to me that my child is gone, because I'm not going to give up hope. I'm not going to give up. I wouldn't give up searching, where some people, like in the Sebastian Rogers case, have completely given up searching. I wouldn't do that. And then we heard Daniel Martell say he's going to search to end the times for these kids. Yet, do you see him putting any public searches together? And how much he loved Malaya, and they were having this perfect relationship. But as soon as Malaya leaves, he's in the DMs of other women trying to hook up. Okay, so hooking up with these chicks was more important than looking for these kids. So there's inconsistencies. These behaviors ain't the behavior of an innocent person that loves and cares about the kid. Now, if he didn't give a shit about the kids, which I don't think he never did, because if we look at these kids, there's no reason a little girl should have black eyes. All right? None. I could see a little boy climbing trees, getting hurt, get a black eye. But the little girl, I can't see any reason that there should be bruises on that child. Now, listen, I'm a father of a daughter. She's 25 now, about to be 26. She never had a black eye, okay? She did scrape her nose one time on a pool ladder, right? She had a little mark on her nose. And I think that's the only time my daughter ever, like, got an injury. And it was just a scrape. She was swimming, and she swam up to the pool ladder and, like, skimmed her nose on it, and it scraped her nose, right? She didn't have black eyes or nothing. She just had a scrape on her nose. I think that's the only time my daughter got hurt. But I was one of those parents. I'm always with my kid. She may have had a scraped knee before or something like that, but there was never a time that you could go to my daughter and find bruises all over, especially her face. Okay, so and it's alleged that she had a black eye, and that's the reason why they couldn't send her to school. And why would this woman, without checking on the kids, call them out for being sick because she knew them kids wasn't going to school that day because they had got rid of them that night. Now, how RCMP does not suspect these people, or they're not publicly saying they suspect these people, I can't believe that. That I believe they need some better detectives. The police department need to do their damn job. And I believe CPS, the police, and the family have failed these children. Okay. It takes a lot of things to go wrong for your child just to vanish and nobody have any clue to where these kids are at. The infighting and the just the stopping the whole search efforts, and like I said, the behavior doesn't match innocent people. I got stuck in a pool ladder as a kid and almost drowned. Oh God, that's terrible. That is terrible, right? So yeah, like my kid scraped her nose on a pool ladder when she, I don't know how old she was, probably about, I don't know, 7, 8 years old. And I was just glad it didn't scar, because that was my biggest fear, that because she got kind of scraped it pretty bad. I was like, I hope she don't end up with a scar on her nose, and she didn't. She's good to go. And then of course we got Malaya shortly after her kids go missing. She's at the beach. Okay, she's at the beach with her cousin. She's all smiles. We got the family coming out making statements like, oh, well, she can't be sad forever. She has to get back to her normal life. And we're talking within 30 days. I can understand you can't be sad forever. 2 years from now, you go to the beach and you trying to, get everything back in order. But 30 days after your kids are missing, you partying it up. And it kind of reminded me of, hate to say it, Casey Anthony, right? So why is it when I see these people, I hear these people, the first thing that pops in my mind is another criminal case, because they have something in common with all these people. Usually when we see things like this, it's in cases where the parents are guilty, right? Now, I have no proof that these people have did anything, okay? Zero. I want to let you guys know that. But if you ask me my opinion, I would say these people know. Them people in that community, they know what happened. They know that Daniel and Malaya know. I think if you ask anybody around that area, that they would tell you that Daniel and Malaya did this and know what happened. Now, you hear Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry, a little bit of internet interference there. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for being patient. Um, where was I at? Okay, where was I at? Technical problems. I'm back. Stand by. Do not try to be Dolly at home. Please stand by. Jack Frost nips again. I thought that was me. No, it was me. My internet went down for a second. We're working off of Wi-Fi, and I'm not near my router, so of course we may have a little interference here and there with the stream. But like I said, tomorrow we will be back in the studio with all new setup, new sound. So everything should be good. And of course, we will be able to take your call ins. You're okay now. But of course, I believe this family knows. And like I said, three different stories. He told us one thing, the internet one thing, he told the media one thing, and then he told the police another. Right now, he wouldn't tell the local media that Malaya put the kids in a car like he told the internet. That's what he was going around spreading on the internet, that Malaya had handed the kids off to somebody in a car that morning, right? But none of the locals seen any random people just driving around. Now that is a major roadway that is in front of their house that is well traveled, but according to this Brad Wong guy and according to Justin Smith, that Daniel was seen that night driving around. Now, is this just more people inserting themselves into the case? Yo, Dolly, you probably did get cloned by AI by being on the internet personality. I got cloned by AI. Is that what you're saying? If I was a clone, I wouldn't be so sore. Now, is there another Dolly out there somewhere? I hope not, because you do not want to be Dolly at home, or you do not want to be a Dolly clone, okay? So, either way, not good. Hi, Dolly Mods and Turtles. Hello, worm, please leave your DNA. You just got new internet. Yeah, but I'm a pretty good ways away from my router, and I'm on my laptop. So, it may be a little interference. The point, Dolly's never going to D13. I don't know what the hell that means. Y'all may be on some Dolly doppelganger. Another Dolly at home is dangerous. Okay. I hope not. So RCMP, they need to get their shit together, right? Like, if there's so many people, I'm gonna do a little vote. Rangy, hold on, guys. There's not my light down. I'm knocking all kind of stuff over. All right, that's gonna have to work. Rangy, hey, can you see what he's getting into? I knocked something over on the table. I think it was my meds. Okay, let's see. 350 likes and 616 in the chat. Oh, y'all doing me dirty. Y'all doing me dirty. I'm about to rage quit on you. Ain't none of them come out, did they? All right, Jack and Lilly case too close to home. They got to be found. Hopefully, but the problem is this: I don't think they will be found. I think whatever situation, like with the shovel in the front yard, think about that. These people had a shovel, and they said, they were fixing rocks to put a pool down. One, who puts a pool on top of rocks? Okay. Now, I put up a pool around the same time in the summertime, and I spent 2 days picking up rocks, pebbles, anything that could, poke through the pool or the liner of the pool. But we hear Jamie say, "Well, I was out there shoveling this, but a little tiny bit of dirt." But that was to explain the shovel that was in the yard. I believe that night somebody buried those kids. What happened to the kids, I'm not sure. But if these kids are walking around with black eyes, to me, that is a sign of abuse, right? You don't, like I said, both these kids look bruised up and not well taken care of. And we seen pictures of Jack and Lily before Daniel Martell, before they were living with Daniel Martell. And these kids look flawless. Okay. It looked like they were well taken care of, looked like they were loved, they were clean. And then every photo we see after that, once they were with Daniel Martell or in his home, they look disheveled. Their clothes don't look as clean. They just they don't look well taken care of from that point. And then we hear Daniel, like, he acts like he's a superhero. I seen somebody's post today, their thumbnail, and it had him in a Superman outfit. And I was thinking, well, that's perfect because that's how he describes himself. Like he's some superhero, like he's the greatest dad in the world, but yet he don't take care of his own kids. But he's this perfect father to two other kids. No. And anytime somebody acts like everything's perfect, everything's good, to me, that's a look. Every family has problems. Every couples has problems. Every relationships, there's ups and downs in that relationship. And you hear him, oh, me and Malay was perfect. Then why'd she leave? If y'all wasn't fighting or arguing, and somehow some people take their anger out on kids, especially when they're not their kids. I'll use a prime example of this. Kayla Montgomery, Adam Montgomery's wife, okay? The one after Crystal Sorey. He didn't beat the kids they had together. He beat the kid from his first relationship. And Kayla Montgomery, she was cool with that. But she wasn't cool with her beating her kids. So sometimes these people get angry and they'll take their drug addiction or abuse out on these kids. And a lot of times when people do these drugs, like in Adam Montgomery's case, it was H. And I believe in Daniel's case, it's the M, right? Mathematics. They go through these points of when they don't have it, they withdraw. And usually with that withdrawal comes anger or irritability. They get irritable, and things that wouldn't aggravate you really aggravate you. And if you're already abusing these kids, which I believe these kids were abused, and just look at the situation they were in, the damn yard itself looked like a death trap for a kid. Nails and all kinds of just crazy shit all over the yard, washing machines, old refrigerators, and just, but I don't believe they were in the yard. I truly believe, like I said, that they either got into something or his anger he took out on the kids because Malaya may not have been taking care of the kids and she put those kids off on him. And I don't believe that he was doing illegal things and she won't. Okay? I believe whatever they were doing this together, and they were in on this crime together. That's why when she left, she didn't worry about him telling, because if he tells, he goes to jail right alongside of her. And I believe that's why they haven't turned on each other, even though relationship wise they've turned on each other. They can be like, okay, we're going our own ways. You say anything, I'll tell them I'll tell what you did and I'll tell what you did. So if either one of them speaks, they both end up in prison. You got it, Dolly. There can only be, the easiest explanation is usually what has transpired. Have you seen the garbage all over Don's land, including disgusting twin bed mattress? I ain't talking about Don Wells right now, but no, I haven't. That's some evil stuff. And like I said, the question is, are these people telling the truth? Was Daniel up and riding around at 1:30 at night? Because if he was, he's lying about his timeline. And if he's lying about the timeline, we don't have a timeline of when these kids went missing, because we're taking everything we know from the people that possibly done it. Okay? And like I said, RCMP have failed these children. The parents failed these children. CPS, Child Protective Services, is what we call it here in my state, have failed these children. There needs to be some justice for Jack and Lilly. And look how far we've came, and nothing, right? No press updates, no nothing. These people at this point believe that they have got away with Jack and Lilly. Please get the likes up. It's free to hit the like button. That is absolutely right. So listen, just to help y'all hit the like button, I want you to hit the like button. Just do me a solid, because there's almost 700 of you in the room. And then I want you to shout out in the chat room where you're watching from, okay? So just be like, hey, Dolly, I like the video. I'm watching from Nova Scotia, or I'm watching from Quebec, or I'm watching from New Mexico. We got 687 on the likes, or how many people are in the room? Indiana in the house, West Tennessee, Wisconsin, Georgia. But make sure y'all hit that like button, guys. It's important to spread awareness about these kids. And listen, you can help these children by just liking the video. That's it. The more likes, the more the algorithm picks it up, the more that y'all leave comments and engage in the videos, the more people are going to see the videos. It helps bring awareness to these kids, and also helps build and grow this channel so we can spread awareness even farther. So I can't do it alone. That's why I tell you, I need your help. I don't just want to scream like the video 1,000 times a night, but it is important, because this is our mission, is to spread awareness for these missing people and to help as many as I can. And I need you to take part in that. All right. Texas, Utah, I see number 417, 413 in the room. Vancouver, Allen is with us. Thank you, Vancouver, for being here. Washington, hi, Dolly from NC. I love the video and all your videos. Well, thank you. Thank you. I love you guys for being here with me. Chicago, New Mexico's here. I agree with you, Dolly. That's where gone Thursday night. They were seen or heard Friday morning. I haven't said this for day one. They're all lying. Absolutely. And you go back to any video I've made on Jack and Lilly, I think I've been 100% on the culprits from the start that are responsible for the disappearance of Jack and Lilly. And I don't think it takes a genius to know when somebody is lying, or they're not being truthful, or you're giving more statements. Like I said, there should be zero inconsistencies. Zero. None. Right? If you have one inconsistency, you have one too many. Chicago's in the house with us. DNA Texas is with us. Rangy. Rangy's here with me too. Say hi to Rangy. Say hi to hey Rangy. Want to say hi to everybody? Want to say hey? Tell them we need justice for these kids, right, Rangy? If you was missing, I'd be searching every day, Rangy, because we tight. Okay. You don't see Rangy with no black eyes or bruises or scratches, do you, Rangy? Because you're taken care of. You're loved. These kids wasn't loved. The little girl had black eyes, Rangy. Black eyes. I know. It's terrible. It's horrible. And that stepdad is a weirdo, okay, that wears tap-out shirts from the 80s. Okay. So you see Rangy ain't buying it. Rangy is suspicious, right? See, look, he's shaking right now. Look. He just shook my hand and said, "You right, Daddy. You are right." He said, "You ain't wrong." We know guilty people. Rangy said he would bite them. He'd bite both of them. I love how he looked up at you. But when I said she had black eyes, he knows. He's like, listen, you know what? It's bad when people love their animals so much, and then there's people out here that treat their kids bad, right? Like, our dogs are treated well. Our kid always been treated well, and then you got people out here that don't care about their kids. Like, if Rangy was gone, I'd shed a tear for Rangy. Daddy would cry. Daddy'd be like, "Oh no, not my Rangy, not my Rangs," right? But do you see Malaya Brooks? Did you see her shed a tear for her two missing kids 4 and 6 years old, this ain't like your teenagers ran away. Okay, this ain't like your 16, 15, and 16-year-old kids are missing. They up the road somewhere. This is our small kids. Okay, Ringy, look, you're right there. You're right there on the screen. And not one tear for these little beautiful babies that I'm missing, Ringy. We put you out there and we're gonna go searching. We gotta get you a passport. This is my new cadaver dog. All right, look, Reggie's shaking on it. Look, he just shook my hand. He was like, "Yep, I got you, Pops." He said he will track them down and bite the shit out of Daniel and Malaya. Dolly, it's funny that Daniel's yard is so green right now. Have you seen it? Well, I did see that he had put the Christmas tree out there, right? He had a Christmas tree at the end of the road, like, you know, like, I don't know, were there any presents up for the kids under it? It's a little weird. It's a little weird. I think he overdoes it, right? Like he's this great guy. And there, to me, when I look at Daniel, I don't see nothing great about him. If you're going to get up here and lie and lie and lie, don't act like a good guy, right? Like you're just better than everybody or you the only one that cares, but yet you do nothing to find these kids. Nova Scotia with insomnia. Well, join the insomnia club. I'm a late night person. I get most of my sleep during the day, so usually I am up late. Right now it is 2 a.m. where I'm at on the East Coast, and but I just wanted to go over these rumors that are going around that he was seen that night, and these rumors are coming from neighbors, locals. So it ain't just the internet accusing people with no ground to accuse people. Like I said, the 3 stories he told in the beginning was enough for me. That I believe the police would take him down there and asked him what story is actually true. Okay, Randy's trying to play now. He got his toy. He got his toy little whale that he's chewing on. He's vicious looking. What? Oh. Okay, get the whale, Rankin. Get the whale. You good. He keeps trying to give it to me. He wants to play. I'm live on the internet, Rangy. I'm live. I'm going to send you to stay with Daniel Martell. You better back up. Malaya. Okay, take it. Take the whale. Take the whale. All right, ready? I'm going to throw it. That dog is so crazy. He is so crazy. Oh, love being a turtle member. How sweet. Look, he's back. He just dropped a whale beside me. He's a good fetch dog if you want to play fetch. Dolly, you should go in person to Canada. Well, I don't have a passport, but I am going to go. Okay, you better get off of me, dog. I'm going to throw it. I want to throw it, but we ain't doing this all night. There. Okay, 4 Wrangler and me a seat on the Blessed Express. Oh, God, he's back with the whale. Are you showing off? Okay. Okay, Rainy. You win. You win. He said this is what he's going to do to Daniel Martell. Okay, you win. You win. You win. Those Frenchies are crazy, right? He's crazy. He's nuts. He just wants to play. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. At least he's picking a bad time. All right, get your well, dude. You got to come on now. You're stepping on my laptop. You're stepping. Ah! He's nuts. He's nuts. He's all hyped up now. Now he's throwing the well at me. He's like, bitch, you better throw this well. We had a shark. He ate the shark. He bit the shark's face off. And these are like toys that are like level 9s, level 10s that you ain't supposed to be able to tear up. And he chews these things all up. Okay. I'm watching from 1407 Clearlight Road. Dolly, stick your hand in between the seat cushions and grab yourself some peanuts and M&Ms. I haven't eaten candy and or drinking. Okay, dude. All right. You better. It's him. Take him with you.
I'm gonna die.
Hold on a minute, guys.
I can't.